Welcome back. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined with Stephen Nover. Pregame.com, we're going to cover a news story, and it's a big news story, folks. Anybody that plays poker knows right now we're taping on Wednesday, June 1st. Yesterday was the kickoff of the World Series of Poker, Stephen. This is the Super Bowl of poker. I mean, the next 6 weeks in Vegas, everybody and anybody that plays poker is here in town. There's something different this year about the World Series of Poker, and anybody that plays the game probably plays online, whether you play recreationally or you play hardcore, guys play online. Black Friday, April 15th, poker as we know it changed. And I can tell you it changed completely. Obviously, you can't play online. Being that I live here in Las Vegas, that's not a big problem. I can, scoot down to the casino, play whenever I want to play. But it's changed the landscape. I can tell you that since April 15th, the poker games, the cash games here in town have gotten much tougher. There's not all the dead money or tourist money that we like to talk about, going down to the strip and, looking for fish on the weekends. It's, everybody's here. It's twofold. One, people can't play online, so now they got to come out of the darkness of their homes and in front of their computers and come into the light of the casino.
They have to shave.
Yeah, and but also it's a situation because the World Series is here now. These guys just migrated a month early, and they've been hitting the cash tables because they got to make a living. What the big news that surfaced yesterday, the opening event was a $25,000 buy-in. It was record field prize money with the $25,000 entry fee, but the situation being people are trying to spin it as, oh, okay, attendance is up, everything's going to be good. Well, you can't judge it by that tournament because that tournament's only going to bring the heavy hitters, all the big names in poker. The average guy that's a grinder online is not going to pony up $25,000 to play a heads-up format. This tournament was a heads-up battle. Everybody knows the national heads-up that NBC carried, had a lot of, people like to watch that, but it's all big names.
It's hard to do that when you can't get your money.
Well, it's right. But these guys have the bankroll that they're going to play. There was a notable exception from yesterday's tournament. Didn't enter, and that was Phil Ivey. And everybody in the poker world, if you put 10 people in a room, ask them who the best poker player is, 9 out of 10 of them, if not all 10, are going to say Phil Ivey is the best over-round cash game player, tournament player, even mixed games, not just Hold'em, Omaha, draw, high-low, stud, whatever you want to put, he plays them all, and he plays them well. He's not at the World Series, and later in the day it came out, he said he's not going to play the World Series, not at all, and he is suing Tiltware. Tiltware is the company behind Full Tilt Poker. He's suing them because he feels there's no reason that the funds should not have been released yet. Those of you who've been living under a rock, since Black Friday, the assets got frozen. U.S. poker has stopped. But the Department of Justice has let the poker companies, about a week later, they went back in and released the funds so that they can start refunding U.S. players their money. They can't play anymore, but they can get their money back. PokerStar, both of them at the beginning, you couldn't even request the withdrawal. PokerStars, I was able to go into my PokerStars account about 8-9 days ago and request my money. I was able to do that. I literally just got my check today. Got it just for the start of the World Series. Full Tilt, you couldn't even go in and request your money yet. People have not been paid, and Phil Ivey feels it's not right for him to play in this tournament when there's people who can't play because these online guys, especially these younger players, they don't believe in bank accounts. They don't have savings accounts. Their savings account is their online poker account, and they can't get at it.
Yeah, well, good for Phil. He's really making a stand there, and he has the name and the bankroll to do that. And I really applaud him for that. I don't understand why they won't give the money.
I mean, this is going to be a bad situation. You know, we're curious to see what the turnout is now that we start the normal events, you know, today and tomorrow and see how the first week of entries are. But a lot of these guys just can't get their money in unless they find, and there's going to be people that are going to do it. There are guys in the industry, they're called backers. They call them a stable. They'll buy a lot of different players. They'll put them into the tournaments and have those guys do the work and play for, you know, a share of what they win. Usually it's a pretty high share because they're taking all the risk, but there's going to be guys that it'll be almost like I could see it now on the New York Stock Exchange and how those guys are, yeah, give me that, you know, guys making deals to try to get some of these players that maybe got their money tied up and can't get in, and they're not going to want to miss the World Series of Poker, so they're going to be making maybe a more lucrative deal for the backer, you know, to put the money up. So it's going to be a crazy scene. The other scene's going to be what's going to happen. Does Howard Lederer show up for the World Series of Poker? Because Howard Lederer is, you know, one of the main face of Full Tilt Poker. Does he show up and play an event? And if he does, what kind of backlash is he going to get there in the public with the players, that somebody that might be there and can't play in an event because you haven't released my money and there you are playing?
Yeah, well, I hope maybe Phil Ivey set a trend here where the other, you know, great players that are affiliated with these sites, you know, maybe band together and follow Phil's lead, and maybe that'll send a clear message. This is the biggest stage. This is the time to do it.
This 6 weeks can make or break somebody's year for, you know, I mean, these guys do this for a living. What makes it more ironic, I mean, Poker Stars is a poker site like any other site, and they have all their sponsored pros. All the sites do. The difference with Full Tilt is Full Tilt was founded by poker players. You know, Howard Lederer, Chris Ferguson, Andy Block, all these guys. If anybody should be more sympathetic, you would think, to the poker players, is the company that's run by poker players. That should have been of the foremost, their number one priority, whatever it took to get these requests processed and get the money into the hands of the poker players. It's an interesting story. It's something that's going to develop over the next several days. We'll see what happens. I mean, literally as we went on today, I posted the story late last night when I got wind of it about Phil Ivey, so more details have been coming out all day, and we'll have more discussions in the forums and stuff, so check out pregameforums.com, and you'll be able to keep up on all the World Series news. And I'll try to, you know, I'll be hanging out at the World Series a good bit over the next 6 weeks. So
you gonna play in it, Marco? Yeah.
I'm going to be playing in some satellites. You know, Uncle Marco's a little too cheap to pony up the 10K, but I'll play the satellites and try to satellite my way in. And the one thing that I will say, that not only the Rio, but some of the other casinos in town, but especially the Rio, they're running 3 mega satellites a day, so that guys that normally would try to, you know, win their way into the World Series by winning a seat online has that same atmosphere at the Rio. There's going to be satellite tournaments running all day long, so you'll see me in there, and you know, come up, say hi, and if you're at my table, don't check raise me, okay?
Or don't call him when he's got a pair of queens and you have ace king, because you'll win every time, right?
I'm on. If you have ace king and you're playing me, trust me, I'm always on the wrong side of ace king. So go ahead and get your money in with it. You're good. But that's it. So we'll have some more on the World Series of Poker throughout the coverage of the next 6 weeks. For Stephen Nover, I'm Marco D'Angelo. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with some more videos. Best of luck with everything with the basketball, poker, whatever you're doing. Get the best of it. Good luck.